Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're plunging into a really vital sector for global health. We're talking about the global critical care analyzer market.
Exactly. These are those sophisticated diagnostic tools you see in ICUs, emergency rooms. They give that rapid, real-time data on patients. Absolutely crucial for, quick decisions, life-saving stuff.
Absolutely. And our source for this deep dive is a forecast from Cognitive Market Research. It's packed with detailed market size, share, projections. So our mission today is basically to unpack the key insights, the numbers, and give you a fast, solid understanding of this important sector. Let's kick things off with the global view. The market generated, 426.767 million US dollars back in 2021. It's projected to climb over 515 million by 2025 and then really jump to over 753 million dollars by 2033. That works out to a compound annual growth rate, the CAGR, of about 4.85%.
hmm And what's really striking here, I think, is what these numbers signal. It's this steady, significant global growth in healthcare tech and investment. It's not just a blip. It points to, well, increasing demands on critical care infrastructure everywhere. It shows where the focus and the money is going.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So let's unpack this. Let's break it down region by region, maybe starting with the big player, North America. It seems to dominate currently.
That's right. North America definitely holds the largest slice of the pie right now. The figures show it was around 166 million US dollars in 2021. It's expected to grow to 197 million or so in 2025. And looking further out, the projection is almost $279 million by 2033. That's a CAGR of roughly 4.4%.
Okay, 4.4%. And drilling down within North America, is it all the U.S. or are Canada and Mexico showing interesting trends too?
Well, the U.S., as you'd probably guess, is the largest part. It's projected to hit nearly $219 million by 2033, growing at about 4.3%. But Canada is interesting. Smaller market size, yes, but its CAGR is actually a bit higher, just over 5%.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it suggests maybe some focused investment there, or perhaps faster adoption of newer technologies. Mexico is growing steadily, too, around 4.6% CAGR, pretty much in line with the regional average.
Right. Now, you mentioned something about Asia Pacific. Here's where it gets really interesting, I think you said. Sounds like major growth there.
Oh, absolutely. Asia Pacific is, well, it's basically the engine driving global growth in this market right now. It started at about 105 million back in 2021, the projection, over 205 million by 2033. And the key thing, it has the highest regional CGR in the whole report, a really strong 5.77%.
Wow, nearly 5.8%. That's substantial. Which countries are fueling that? What's happening specifically in APAC?
It's a fascinating mix. China is a huge contributor, naturally, growing at almost 6%. But, the real standout story is India.
India.
Yeah, India has the highest individual country CAGR in the entire report. It's projected at an amazing 6.58%.
Over 6.5%.
Exactly. And that likely reflects a massive push in developing healthcare infrastructure, better access to advanced services, maybe government initiatives boosting critical care. We're also seeing really strong growth in Singapore. That's over 6% CKR as well. And Southeast Asia as a whole, around 6.5%.
Okay.
Then you have established players like Japan, South Korea, Australia, all showing solid, steady growth too. Around 5% for Japan and South Korea, slightly less for Australia. Even Taiwan and the rest of APAC's category are showing CAGRs well above 5%. It's just dynamic across the board.
That's quite a picture in Asia Pacific. So let's shift gears now and look at Europe. It's a more established market, right? What's the story there?
Right. Established, but still growing steadily. Europe overall was about 87.5 million US dollars in 2021. The forecast takes it to roughly 145.4 million by 2033. That's a CAGR of about 4.4%. So
Yeah.
similar to North America's overall rate, actually.
Okay, similar overall. But I imagine there's quite a bit of variation within Europe. Different countries, different dynamics.
For sure. You definitely see differences. Germany actually leads the pack in Europe with a CAG just over 5.1%.
Higher than the regional average?
Suggests strong investment there. The UK and Spain are also showing pretty solid growth, around 4.6, 4.7%. On the other end, Russia has the lowest growth rate among the detailed European countries, under 2.8% CAGR. That could reflect, different economic situations or healthcare spending priorities.
That's a significant difference from Germany.
It is. And then you have countries like France, Italy, the Nordics, Sweden, Denmark, Switzerland, Luxembourg. They're all showing steady, consistent growth, mostly in the 3.5 to 4.5% range. Adds up to a solid base for the European market.
Got it. What about the other regions? Let's touch on South America next.
Okay, South America, also showing robust growth, actually. The overall CAGR there is projected at over 5.1%. So it started from about 27.3 million in 2021 and heading towards nearly $50 million by 2033.
Over 5%, higher than North America and Europe overall. Any
Yeah.
particular drivers there? Similar to the India story in APAC?
Well, Argentina stands out. It has the highest good GR within South America, projected at almost 5.6%.
Okay.
So that points to, yes, significant expansion in critical care capabilities there. Brazil, being the largest economy, contributes a huge chunk volume-wise, growing steadily around 5%. Chile also shows strong growth, about 5.4%. Colombia, Peru, the rest of South America, all growing between 4.5 and 5.4%. It's a continent-wide trend of modernizing critical care.
Right. And the Middle East.
The Middle East is another region with solid growth. Overall, CDR just over 5%. It's projected to grow from around 21.3 million in 2021 to over 38.5 million by 2033.
And the hotspots there.
The UAE has the highest projected TGR in the Middle East at 5.65%.
Interesting.
Yeah, along with strong contributions from Saudi Arabia and Turkey, both also over 5% CGR. It suggests, again, significant investment in advanced medical tech and infrastructure. Egypt and Qatar are growing steadily, too, around 4.5 to 4.8%.
Okay, makes sense. And finally, Africa.
Africa's market is projected to grow, too, from nearly 19.6 million in 2021 to just over 35 million by 2033. The overall KGR for Africa is around 4.5%.
And within Africa, where's the main activity?
South Africa leads the way there, with the highest TAGR on the continent at just over 5%. So it's a key focus for expansion. Nigeria is also a significant contributor, growing at about 4.8%. The rest of Africa shows growth too, though at a slightly lower rate, around 3.8%. Still, positive growth across the board.
Okay, so we've gone through all the regions, seen quite a range of numbers. Let's pull back now. What's the big picture takeaway from all this data? What does it really mean for us?
Well, if you connect all those dots, the overarching theme is this really consistent, steady global growth. Every single region we looked at is expanding. But what's particularly striking, I think, is the momentum in emerging markets.
Right, those higher QGRs we saw.
Exactly. When you look at India, Southeast Asia, Argentina, the UAE, their growth rates really stand out compared to some, though not all, parts of the established markets. It clearly indicates a rapid expansion of critical care capacity in these developing economies. That being said, you absolutely cannot discount the established markets. North America and Europe are still huge.
Yeah, the base is much larger.
Precisely. So even with somewhat lower growth rates in certain areas due to maturity, their sheer size and continued investment mean they remain vital for the overall market's health and, importantly, for driving innovation.
That makes a lot of sense, and it really underscores the implications for, innovation and investment in the actual technology. These numbers reflect real-world healthcare needs.
That's the fascinating part, isn't it? How these market figures mirror global healthcare trends, infrastructure development. It's all connected. The growth isn't just financial. It represents a growing global capacity and demand for sophisticated critical care support, getting patients those rapid, accurate diagnostics when it matters most.
So to wrap up this deep dive for you today, what we're seeing is a really robust, expanding global market for critical care analyzers. It's being driven by, well, sustained growth in established regions like North America and Europe, but also by this really dynamic momentum in emerging economies across Asia-Pacific, South America, the Middle East, and Africa. It's a vital sector, clearly moving upwards.
And, this raises an interesting final thought for you listening. Considering this ongoing growth and the way global healthcare is evolving, what specific areas within critical care do you think are ripe for the most transformative diagnostic innovations over the next decade or so? Where will we see the biggest leaps?